Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode we started talking about what allows happy people to be happy. And I shared with you one of the biggest secrets. Actually, I don't even necessarily like using the word secrets, except it's kind of cool to talk about secrets, but it's not really a secret if you think about it. You already know. You already have the knowing present in your own heart right now, right this instant. Everything that you need to know about how to be happy, that knowing is already present in your heart. You see, so from that perspective, this is nothing that I'm talking about now or, nothing that I really even can talk about in the future on this issue. Nothing will really be a secret from that perspective. But insofar as most of the people in the world are lacking the knowledge and the skills to connect with their hearts at will, and therefore lacking the knowledge and the skills to be able to tap into the wisdom and the knowing of their hearts at will, you see, they find themselves struggling to figure these things out. They find themselves living as if, they in fact did not know this information, as if they did not have access to this information. It's like one of those things when I think about it, it makes me a little sad because, it's just so ironic that on the one hand, we already have all this knowledge, all this knowing within our hearts of how to be happy, how to live with more inner peace and joy, how to truly thrive in our lives. And yet it is one of the biggest challenges of our lives to connect with that knowing and to live in alignment with that knowing and experience that inner peace and joy and happiness that we all crave so much. But you know what? It is what it is. Life is what it is. And we know that with every problem, there is a great opportunity. With every challenge, there is a great opportunity for us to be able to learn and grow. Right? And as long as we have the opportunity to learn and grow and we engage with that opportunity, it's like, woohoo! It's great news for us because, hey, as long as we're learning and growing, we are living, right? Because if you're not growing, then we are dying. If you're not growing, then we are dying. So this is actually like, hey, what a wonderful thing. Like if we have to spend our lives learning about something or the other so that we can continue to grow, this is a pretty cool thing to focus on learning in our lives, isn't it? I think so. My gosh, it just, when you focus on learning more about how to be happy and how to live with more inner peace and joy, it makes you more happy. It allows you to live with more inner peace and joy. So I say, wow, this is actually a great problem to have. It really is. And, it's my life's passion, and my life's mission to help you transform this problem into the opportunity that it is, right? Because, wow, I mean, it's like what I've devoted my own life to. First of all, of course, just for myself. But, we all get to a point in our growth and development and healing when we recognize that, hey, I want to share what I've learned with other people. And it just feels so great. It feels so awesome to be able to share what you have learned. It's just a very natural part of our human psychology. I mean, just think about it. It's like whenever you have a great experience, I mean, even when we have negative experiences, do we not love to talk to other people about what we have experienced? Yeah, it's like when you have a negative experience, you love to talk about it because it makes you feel better to sort of like let that load off your heart, let that load off your mind. Get some empathy, get some compassion from your listeners. Maybe they can even help you do some problem solving, explore some options for how you can transform that problem into an opportunity, right? So we love to talk things out when something not so good is going on with us. But we also love to talk about when we have had a great experience, because we want to share. It's just like one of those things, that makes us human, that we want to share our happiness as well. Because when we share what we know, what we have experienced, and it allows the other person to be happy as well, when it contributes positively to their happiness, it makes us feel even happier that, hey, we made a positive contribution in someone else's life. So it's like really, really awesome, when you're able to share what you have learned. And by the way, hey, last episode we were talking about, look at what do happy people do? What are you doing yourself when you're feeling happy? And do more of that. Do more of that, So it's like an easy way for us to learn and understand more about what it takes for us to be happy, right? And this is like one of the things that happy people do, right? They share what they've learned. The things that make them happy, you share those things with other people, you share those feelings, you share that knowledge with other people. And you also share when things are not going so well, because then it allows you to receive more support in your life, more help, more empathy, more compassion. So this is just another thing that really, really happy people do. In fact, I was listening to a TED Talk. It was actually a TED Radio Hour episode. And if, by the way, I do highly recommend the TED Radio Hour. You can listen to it live on the radio, or I listen to it, I've subscribed to their podcast, and so I listen to it through my podcast app, and I just love TED Radio Hour. I mean, they do a brilliant job of covering whatever issue it is that they happen to be covering, and they cover some really, really awesome topics. And this last episode that I was listening to was all about the fountain of youth. It's like we have this sort of innate will, this innate drive to live. You know, we don't want to die. We don't want our lives to end. And so, you know, people from, you know, like from forever, basically, you know, have been on this quest, on this search to understand, to figure out how we can basically live longer, live healthier and happier, because you don't want to just live longer for the sake of living longer. You know, it's like if you're going to be alive but miserable and unhealthy and sick the whole time that you're living, I mean, is that really what you want? No, you want to live so that you can be happy, so that you can enjoy life more and all that. So good health is really, really important in that context, right? And so one of the most brilliant things about TED Radio are, and how they cover any given issue, is that they look at it from so many different perspectives. But one of the perspectives that they were looking at it from was they were talking about this research that has been done where researchers sort of went and did a survey of what are the areas around the world where people are living the longest. And not just like living longer, but also living longer in a way that they're also healthy and happy, you know. And those places, they label them, they call them the blue zones. They found there were like 3-4 locations that they found around the world where people it's very normal for the people in those areas to cross well over 100 years of age. And they're, you know, like not only are they living longer, but they're like moving around, they're healthy, you know, healthy enough that, you know, they're you know, moving around, and they're contributing positively to their communities, and they're happy and all that good stuff. So there's like Okinawa in Japan, there is actually somewhere right here in California, there is a place in, what was the other blue zone? Somewhere in Europe. Now I'm like, for some reason, now that I'm wanting to talk to you about this, I'm like finding myself blanking on the names of the specific locations. But anyway, the point is that there are these locations. And so researchers went and they did studies on what's going on with these people, and like what kind of foods are they eating, what kind of culture do they have, what kind of practices and habits do they have. And one of the things that they found out, that they were really struck by, the researchers, was that yes, these people, they tend to have much healthier lifestyles in terms of the foods that they eat. For example, they're eating a more plant-based diet. They're eating foods that are not only plant-based, but very minimal processing, low in sugar, salt, and fat, you know, all those kinds of things. So they're eating healthier. But that's not really what's making the biggest difference. They're also, you know, they engage in a regular physical activity, but it's not like intense exercise by any means. It's more like, you know, it's just normal everyday activity. They have it like built in, like physical movement and agility and flexibility is built in into their normal everyday activities. So for example, they were talking about how in Okinawa, Japan, in their culture, people sit on the floor to eat. And they do a lot of other daily activities which requires them to drop down to the floor and then get back up. And so the people over there, they're not doing intentional exercise like, oh, I'm going to set aside 20 minutes and do exercise. But it's like 30 to 40 times a day, they're dropping down to the floor and getting back up, dropping down to the floor and getting back up. And it's like just really gentle, basic movement, but nonetheless, it's like these kinds of things done every day, done on a consistent basis, it becomes a part of the pattern of their lives and what they're doing. And it's just very gentle exercise. They walk a lot, right? Because they don't have cars. They don't have, big sprawling cities and stuff, so it's like they're just walking to pretty much everywhere that they need to get to. And again, it's not like walking for recreation or walking with the deliberate intention of exercising. They're just walking as part of their normal everyday, this is how I live. This is just what I need to do in order to get about with my life on an everyday basis. So it's like, okay, so yeah, they're eating healthier, but there are lots of other places in the world where people are eating healthier, but that's not the primary cause for why they're living so much longer. Then they're exercising, yes, but in lots of other places and cultures where people are exercising, sometimes even more intensely than these people are, but that's not what's the biggest contributing factor. That's not what really, really sets them apart. So it was like, okay, what is it that's really setting them apart? That really is making a big difference in their lives and giving them this longevity and this enhanced quality of life. Can you guess? Yeah, it's their social relationships. It's the quality of their social relationships. It's like they have lots of healthy relationships in their lives, people that they can talk to about how they're feeling, whether things are good or not so good. They have someone, they not just someone, they have like an entire community of people around them that they're able to engage with and share what they're feeling and how they're doing. And as people age, this is like another really critical aspect of what's contributing to the quality of lives for these people and enhancing their longevity, is that as people age, they continue to feel valued. They continue to feel like there's a reason for their being, there's a purpose to their lives. And it's not just like something that like a person like individually comes up with and they just make up anything, but it's like a part of the culture that it's like I think they were still talking about Okinawa, Japan, when they said in Okinawa they don't even have a word for retirement. Like how in America we have this culture where we've divided our lives into two phases. There's our the first so many decades of our lives, it's like work, 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 work. So that one day you can retire and then take a break from work and do more of what you want. Only the reality of the life in America is that for the vast majority of people, by the time they reach retirement age and they really then have the time to be able to do whatever they might want to do, they have lost their health, and so they're not really able to do whatever it is that they might want to do. And a lot of people are not even in a position of, like in terms of their wealth, their finances. For a lot of people, it's like the promise of a secure retirement is not panning out. So a lot of people are even getting to the point of retirement and they're finding, wow, I don't have enough money to continue to live the kind of life I want to live and do all the things that I want to do. So it's actually a really, really sad situation in that context. But in Okinawa, Japan, they don't even have a word for retirement. There is no division of life into a work phase and a not work phase. It's like throughout your life, you're engaged in meaningful activity. Meaningful, you have meaningful ways in which you're contributing to your family, to your community. And the older you get, the more it's like you're seen as, this older person has more experience, they have more wisdom. So, and that greater wisdom, that greater level of experience is actually something that's very much valued and respected. So people continue to feel valued and loved and wanted, and they continue to play important roles in their communities and in their families. And this is like so absolutely critical. And this, they found, was the biggest distinguishing factor between these blue zones, these particular areas of the world where people are living the longest and healthiest lives, versus all the other parts of the world where, it's not a blue zone. So think about this, and it's like, what's going on in your life? What is the status and the state of, of course it's important to eat healthy and exercise and all that good stuff, but also think about the quality of your relationships. What's going on with that? If you do not have healthy relationships in your life, wow, this is a huge, huge issue. This is a big, big deal. And it's something that you need to address ASAP. It's not something that you can just afford to, put aside and work on later. No, this needs to be one of your very top priorities, especially if you want to be able to thrive in your life, if you want to be able to live with inner peace and joy and happiness in your life. The quality of your relationships is absolutely crucial. It's absolutely crucial that you put intention and focus on improving the quality of your relationships. So I'm going to go ahead with that thought, wrap up right here for today, and we'll pick up from this point tomorrow. And in the meanwhile, I want to just give you a reminder that, hey, if this is something you find yourself struggling with, you're struggling with the quality of your relationships and it's impacting your life in a negative way, please do not continue to struggle with this on your own. Reach out for help and support. And I'm one person that you can reach out to help and support for. Okay, and you know how to reach me. Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the Contact Us page, and you'll see the different options for how you can connect with me. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.